So Guardians, I don't start a lot of my videos off like this. I never had to. But I have to say sorry to Coda, one of my friends in the Destiny community, and I kind of ruined his trust for having a video uploaded on my channel that wasn't edited by me. All I did was the audio, and I scripted the audio together, handed it over to my friend, and he finished the edits. Subsequently, he downloaded Coda's video and used Coda's video to overlay my audio on top of, and it became copyright. Coda took the video down, but he's allowing me to re-upload the video, and I'm also going to say right now, sorry, sincerely, to you, Coda, and everyone that's watching this video. I've put Coda's links in the description of this video to give him proper credit to this video. So please, think of it as a collaboration, if you will. The audio that's in this video is myself, but basically all of the visual edits are Coda. So thank you, Coda, for allowing me to do this and giving me a second chance to regain your trust and to be your friend. Guys, go check out Coda's link in the description of this video, and also go and check out his Twitch. I've linked both of them down below, and I've even linked his Twitter if you want to go and chat with him on Twitter. Thank you guys again so much, and enjoy the video. Hello again, Guardians, and welcome back to the channel for another Destiny 2 episode. Now, before we get started, every single week I like to do a giveaway for you guys, especially the subscribers, and alongside that, I'm giving away 3 copies of Destiny 2. If you want to enter in for any of those giveaways, the details are on the screen now. All you have to do is pause the video, read the instructions, and enter in for the giveaways. Congratulations to whoever wins prior. Now, to get into this video, we are going over all of the enemies coming into Destiny 2. All of the old enemies that are staying the same, all of the changes, and also some stuff that I've noticed. So in this video will be different information from other YouTubers and Twitch streamers because I've noticed stuff that other people haven't noticed. So please watch the video all the way to the end. Now, to get into this, we're starting off with Fallen, and more particular, we're starting off with SIVA. And before even that, I'm going to mention right now, I don't think Taken are coming into Destiny 2. I think the Taken are gone. Oryx is dead, and we've killed him in his Hive throne room, so Oryx is now gone forever, and I think he was the only Hive god that was able to take enemies. So I think the Taken are just gone now. Moving into SIVA. SIVA is going to be returning, and we had a quick glimpse of that in a Nightfall description. The description read, SIVA corrupted Fallen have made their nest inside a crashed ship. We cannot allow SIVA to gain a foothold here. The location is going to be the planet Nessus. So we do in fact know that there will be a strike and a Nightfall pertaining to SIVA and Fallen. But as of right now, we don't know how much of SIVA we will actually face in Destiny 2. This might just be one event allowing us to get a special armor piece or a weapon, but as of right now, we can't really confirm any of that. All we know is there's going to be one event so far in Destiny 2 that does have SIVA. So SIVA is, in theory, returning. Next up, Fallen in general. Fallen had Shanks, Dregs, Vandals, Captains, Servitors, Archons, and Kel. Kel were the leaders of the houses. There's multiple different houses: the House of Devils, Exile, Judgment, Kings, Rain, Scar, Stone, Winter, and Wolves. But currently right now, we do believe that there's a new Fallen house due to the fact that we've seen a bunch of purple cloaked Fallen running around in the live stream reveal. We're not too sure what house this is, and if in fact it is a new house, it could be one of the older houses, but again, we still don't have any confirmation on that. Now, the Fallen do have 2 swords, and they are cloaked, and they have hoods on, and we're not too sure why the Vandals are holding swords without being invisible, because as we know, Vandals with swords normally were stealth Vandals back in Destiny 1, and maybe right now it's just the norm for these Vandals to hold 2 swords. Moving into the enemies, the Vex. Vex had the enemies the Goblins, Harpies, Minotaurs, Hobgoblins, Praetorians, Cyclopses, Supplicants, and Hydras. Now, they also had different forms of programming, which was the Affix Invasive, the Soul Imminent, Hezen Corrective, Hezen Protective, Soul Divisive, Soul Prime Vol, Soul Progeny, and Virgo Prohibition. These are all the different programmings of the Vex, and a lot of the Vex in the trailers and the livestream reveal mostly looked normal. We also had a boss known in the Inverted Spire as Protheon, and we all speculate he might be related in some way to the lore to Atheon from the Vault of Glass, which would be incredible to find out a connection to the Vault of Glass with a different planet. That would be absolutely amazing, and I really hope that something connects this dude to Atheon. The next thing we noticed is Minotaurs actually have a crit spot in Destiny 2. We're not too sure if Bungie just thought that Minotaurs were overpowered in D1 and decided to change this, or if only a couple of Minotaurs have crit spots and the other ones do not. Maybe the Praetorians now don't have crit spots and the Minotaurs are the only ones that do. Maybe they've changed that up just slightly. And it would be a really nice change to be able to do a crit damage on a Minotaur. And if all the Minotaurs are like this, that's also a really nice change as well. Next up is another boss, which is going to actually do solar damage. And when Bungie was talking about the story, they mentioned this guy in the cutscenes. So we're thinking this might be a person in relation to the story, or at least might be a strike boss, which would be pretty cool. And I don't really recognize, to my knowledge, of a Vex boss ever doing solar damage like this one does in the trailer. So it's actually really interesting to also take a look at that. Moving on to the Hive. We have Thralls, Acolytes, Wizards, Knights, Ogres, and Shriekers. They also have several different sects, which is going to be the Blood of Oryx, Spawn of Crota, the Scarlet Brood, Venom of Oryx, the Silent Brood, and the Hidden Swarm. The Knights look a bit scarier in this one. Destiny 2, the Knights are dark black in color, glowing green in the eyes, a lot brighter than they used to, and they have wings. I'm not too sure why a knight would need wings, if this is just a new sect of Hive, or if this Hive is living on a completely different planet other than Earth. And I'm also wondering if these knights are actually something completely different. And I'm also wondering if they can fly. If they can fly, that would also be pretty crazy. Boomers that can fly would be a pain in the ass, and I really don't want to see that happen. But if it does, hey, I will take all the changes I can muster for Destiny 2, because Destiny 2 is going to be 10 times better than Destiny from what we can see so far. The next thing is going to be the Dark Black Thralls. Now, the Dark Black Thralls might be a different form of Thrall with a different ability, but as of right now, from the footage that we see, they look pretty standard. They just look like they rush you. This might just be the color of all of the new Hive. Maybe they just might be darker in color to make them look a bit scarier, which would be pretty cool. But ultimately, so far, the Thralls just look like standard Thralls. Next up is going to be the Shrieker boss that pops up. Now, these Shrieker bosses have other smaller Shriekers next to it, and we kind of think that this is going to be a strike boss because they were mentioning strikes and nightfalls when this boss popped up. And the Shrieker, as we can see in the footage, actually has a shield and looks pretty menacing. It looks pretty awesome as well. Then the final thing is we actually got to see a glimpse of some Acolytes being ran over by a tank. The Acolytes aren't very strong, apparently, but ultimately they might also serve the same purpose as they did before, shooting us with void, solar, or arc damage, and ultimately only doing a little bit of melee damage and something not really to worry about. Moving on to the final enemy is the Cabal, probably the biggest known enemy for Destiny 2, and starting off, they had the Legionaries, they had the Phalanx, the Centaurians, the Colossus, Scions, Interceptors, the Goliath tanks, and the Harvesters. Moving into the Cabal detachments is going to be the Blind Legion, Bone Crushers, Broken Legion, Dust Giants, Ice Reapers, Sand Eaters, Siege Dancers, Sky Burners, and now we have a new one known as the Red Legion. There might also be an additional one, which we'll talk about momentarily at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Now, We have a new enemy known as the Incendier, which is going to be basically an incendiary flame-throwing type of Cabal. If you shoot the tanks on their back, they'll freak out and they'll explode, creating an area of effect damage and splash damage that will also damage other nearby enemies. They might also damage yourself, so be careful when shooting the tanks when you're very close to them. Next up is going to be a boss that we got to see, or a mini boss, known as Pusk the Searing Will. He has solar damage and he looks menacing, and he looks like an amped up version of the Incendier, so pretty cool. Then right after him we got to see Bran the Unbent Blade, which shoots void rockets at us, and he has a jetpack and can fly in the air. Kind of a pain in the ass, but also pretty cool. Then we know of a new ship called the Thresher, which has a health bar, and you can actually shoot it out of the sky. Now, we're kind of speculating as a Destiny community that this is going to be a part of the Grimoire cards built into the game, and killing one of these will actually grant some lore to the game that we can read about inside of the game now. So remember, Grimoire cards are no longer on Bungie.net, or they might be on Bungie.net, but we can actually read about it inside of the game, which is really useful for lore research and making lore videos. Then we also have the War Beast. The War Beast is a new form of Cabal dog that is going to be a close range kind of melee type beast, kind of like the Thrall from the Hive. And they, as I can see, do a quite a bit of damage, so we might have to stay away from them quite a bit. Then we also have the Blood Guard boss that pops up for a certain section. Ultimately just a little mini boss that doesn't really do very much of a difference. It's just a normal Cabal that we're going to have to face. Then we have the new Gladiators, which are going to have 2 swords, and they're going to be a melee rushing type of character that do a tremendous amount of damage compared to Captains and Vandals, so we're going to have to watch out for them as well. Then we have 3 Cabal bosses that pop up, and I think this might actually be in relation to a strike, and would be very unique to face all 3 of them at the same time, and all of them have different scenarios in defeating them. Some of them will have different abilities, and ultimately will kind of create a really big challenge to kill all 3 at the same time, which would be pretty interesting compared to the Scion Flare Strike back in Destiny 1. Facing 3 really giant Cabal compared to 3 little Scions might be a really tough challenge, which is also pretty exciting. Next up, the final thing is the big green Cabal. Red Legion? Question mark? Most likely not. As you can see, all of the normal Red Legion Cabal that we've seen in this video are normally red and black armor. This one is black and green. And we're kind of speculating that this is not going to be the Red Legion. And if you zoom in to a certain section of the big guy or the big boss and look at his armor and a little logo on it, that does not resemble the Red Legion's logo. So these 2 logos are completely different. And that's something that a lot of people haven't noticed. So I'm thinking this might be an entirely different faction or detachment of the Cabal. So we actually will see more than just the Red Legion coming into Destiny 2. We'll actually see another Cabal force that might be helping out the Red Legion and might pertain a really big threat to us. So all of these guys are green. They might still be a part of the Red Legion, but I think they're a new detachment altogether. Thank you all so much, Guardians, for watching this video, and if you've noticed anything else, leave your comments down in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you all for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a like, share it with your friends, and also subscribe for daily Destiny content and Destiny 2 information as it comes up. And as always, stay violent and be privileged.
Oh, hi. VPG isn't here right now, but I guess you enjoyed the content. So over there's the logo you can click on. That will allow you to subscribe. More content up there, and behind the scenes daily content over here on the vlog channel. There you go. Enjoy!